Hey guys, so today I want to make a video sort of discussing the overall state of Dragon Ball Legends, and this is a video I've wanted to make since the end of the anniversary, so probably around a month ago, maybe a little bit less, but I just haven't been around, so have to do it now. But overall, this video might end up sounding a little bit negative in terms of my perception of how the game's doing and what they've been doing in terms of recently. And I'm going to try and compare the more recent developments in this game compared to how it used to be when it first came out a little bit over a year ago at this point. And just there seems to be like an overall theme of like everything getting worse as time has gone on, which I just want you guys to keep in mind as we go through everything that I want to talk about in this video. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is the anniversary itself, including, most importantly, the actual banner. So we got the Goku banner, and we got the Vegeta banner here. I think they're pretty good banners, honestly. Like, if we compare them to Dokkan, now obviously a lot of people are like, oh, they could have just done it in one banner, which, yeah, they could have, but that would have been that would have been absolutely insane if they had Goku, Frieza, Vegeta, and Buhan all in the same banner, and then had Super Vegeta there as well. So I think them being split up into two banners is not the worst. So yeah, in terms of like the value, I thought they were pretty good because you got some pretty good steps 1 through 3, which you can only do once on each banner, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's not the end of the world because steps 4 through 7 basically were the 3+1 deals you got in Dokkan, where you do 3 multis and you get the last one free. Plus you end up getting tickets, which Dokkan usually doesn't get. So that's a big win for Legends, I feel like. Now, the big downside to the anniversary, in my opinion, probably the worst part about the anniversary overall, were the rates to get Super Vegito. Now, if we take a look at the banners, I think all the way down is where the Vegito rates are, yeah, 0.25%. If you compare that to the rates of pulling an LR in Dokkan, a featured LR, that ends up being around a 0.5%. So this Super Vegito's pull rates are about half as good as pulling a featured LR on Dokkan Banner, which is like mind-blowingly low. And then also, if we take a look, I think I have it pulled up here. Yeah, so this is the ticket banner, where supposedly you would have a better chance of pulling Super Vegeta, which you do have, granted. If we scroll all the way down here, he's at 5%. So just to put in perspective how good of a chance that is. So up until recently, all the banners and Legends have had a 5% sparking pull rate. So your chances of pulling Super Vegito off of this banner from a ticket are around the same as you singling a sparking on one of those original banners, which is not high. And like, you're not going to be able to rack up a bunch of these tickets because you only get 1 per 3 multis. So if you do, like, let's say, I don't know, 18 multis, so that's 18,000 Chrono Crystals, you'll get 6 tickets. So that's 6 chances with a 5% pull rate to get a Vegito. That's very, very low. And if you wanted to go for Gohan, it's even less. It's half of this. So very, very, very difficult to pull Super Vegito. So yeah, that is all I want to talk about there. And then we could also just discuss briefly, hold on, let me just scroll down here, the EX rates. And this is something that's sort of been present within the game for a very long time. I think ever since like UST 9 or 10, when they first started introducing these like quote-unquote like featured EXs, or that like you get the bonus Z power for. They're like exclusive EXs or whatever you want to call them, that are like sparking level EXs that are extremely good, like this Boo, this Slug, this Bulma. And I think on the Vegeta banner there were different ones. Yeah, Videl. You have this Trunks, and there were even new EXs. Like you had the EX Whis, you had the Beerus, the Janemba, and the Chilled. I think I ended up using something like 80,000 Chrono Crystals across both banners. I ended up pulling 1 copy of Whis, and I ended up pulling 1 copy of Chilled. And I did not pull Janemba, and I did not pull Beerus. So I pulled, out of 80k Chrono Crystals, I pulled 2 new EX units total, including the free summons too. So that should tell you exactly how hard it is to get EX units. I don't know why they go out of their way to make them that difficult to obtain, but it's borderline absurd, and it just doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Um, Something else about the anniversary that I thought was pretty cool that they did was they actually did more balance changes, which I think is one of the best things that Legends does, because it allows players that have had units for a long time that are no longer as good as they once were to be competitive again. And if you take a look just at like the units that got buffed, so we have the red Vegeta and the blue Pod Frieza, the purple Vegeta, and two other, the Android 17 and the last one I can't remember off the top of my head, but some of those are like very top tier cards now. Like Android 17, the Pod Frieza, those are both like amazing. Plus you have the red Vegeta who's buffing the Vegeta family now, which is actually like a usable team now that the transforming blue Vegeta is out. So that's a win for Legends as well. I think the balance changes are very, very good. And also the coins that they were giving out for Legends too during the anniversary. Those are very valuable because it allowed you to get like I think it was like 20 million Zenny for one coin, and they think they were giving out like somewhere close to around 20 coins throughout the course of the anniversary if you include all the missions and stuff. So I mean, souls, coins, I think it was like skip tickets, energy tickets, like there's a bunch of stuff you could just get for free, like literally just from logging in for the coins, which I thought was really cool. So overall, the anniversary I thought was pretty good. I think a lot of people were sort of overplaying how lacking in content the anniversary was, but I mean, you had the Rising Battle of Vegito, some other story events, you had the God versus Super Warrior thing, which is pretty cool, but overall I thought the anniversary was pretty good, but the big blemish being, I think, the Super Vegito rates. Like, they were shipping Super Vegito as like the main headliner of the anniversary, and his rates were just unexcusably low. Like, you can't do that during an anniversary, and I hope they learn that lesson, which they won't because they did end up getting top grossing, but we'll discuss that later on. So next, what I want to talk about are the changes to the Ultra Space Time banners. So this has happened, I think, for the past few banners, but the tickets that they've been giving out, I don't know if I actually have, I don't have a tab like for the ticket banner itself, but I believe it's a 20% pull rate on the new Sparkings, or maybe it's a little bit less. I know in total, yeah, so it has to be less. I think it's 15% actually on the new Sparkings, or something, or 16 or something like that. It might be 16.66, but I know for sure that it's actually you have a better chance of pulling a non-featured Sparking from the tickets than pulling an actual featured unit. And that's not at all, because they actually made the tickets a lot harder to get. It used to be you just log in, and through the login bonus it gave you the tickets. But now they have this Wish Upon a Star event where it took like many energy tickets to even get your hands on one ticket, and you need 7 in total to do a guaranteed summon. So really not a fan of that. And then in addition to that, they did increase the pull rates on, I think, most banners at this point. I think pretty much every single banner from the anniversary has had a 7% pull rate, whereas before the anniversary they were at a 5% pull rate. So that's good, but I think it's pretty deceptive, because if we take a look here, all of these units are still at a 1% pull rate, the new units. So all they did, like for example, if you had a banner with 5 featured units, the 5 featured units would still have a 1% pull rate, and then all the unfeatured units would all be at like, very low percent, because the remaining 2% rate would be split among all of the Sparkings. So with this banner, you have 3 featured Sparkings. So the remaining 4% is then split up among however many Sparkings are on the banner. So that's why the pull rate of these guys are a little bit higher than normal, because there's only 3 featured. But it's very deceptive, because the 7% doesn't really change anything. It just adds a higher percent to pull from the non-featured pool, which is like, no one really cares. But something that I do like about Legends is that they do like introducing characters that are not represented well in other Dragon Ball games. For example, in Dokkan, we don't have any of these guys as like usable characters. Well, we do, but I think both guys are like rares, which are like unusable. And I don't think we have any Vegeta from Android 13 movie in that game, so that's definitely something that I do like about Legends. Like, also the Android 18, I know, the Blue 18 sparking is not in Dokkan as well. So that's going to do it for UST banners. I'll just scroll through here. Yeah, so next is the PvP reward situation. So I know back in the early days, I think you used to get 2,000 crystals for getting top 10k, and then they changed it to 1,000 crystals. But they still had like the very good missions. But now the missions are starting to get like very, very bad. So yeah, they show you like the total amount of stuff you can get from here. I mean, 300 crystals, like give me a break. Like that's 3 single summons. You get, yeah, sure, you get these tickets. Like, no one cares about Masters Pack 1 tickets. Like, I don't know why they keep giving these out. It makes no sense. 20 skip tickets, like none of these rewards are even that good. And in order to complete all these missions, they keep making it more and more difficult to do so, because I know this season, in order to get all the rewards, you have to reach rank 50, which I know most people end up not doing. And then you also have to win 30 times at rank 50, which is a lot. People don't have the time to do that. So I'm not sure why they continue to make obtaining these rewards a lot harder. These are, I think, the same, and these are just the ranking awards that you get. Yeah, like 120, whatever, all the way up to rank 50. So they're not too rewarding, in my opinion. So next, moving on, we have the Ultra Space Time Rush. Not really much to say about this, other than the fact that it's just a garbage event that serves essentially no purpose, even after the revamp. And like literally, they just revamped it. Like at the time I'm filming this video 3 days ago. So even after the revamp, it just doesn't serve any purpose. Like it just takes so long, and the rewards are not worth it. It gives you like 300 crystals, which is, by the way, the same as a whole season of doing PvP, the missions. And the whole purpose the only reason you would even do this for is to do Equipment Awakening, and that by itself is worthless. If you guys don't know, they just released a Awakening of the Gohan equipment, the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, like mega OP equipment, and it's not even that much different than the unawakened version, and it costs like an absurd amount of resources, like the amount of souls that you need to spend awakening them. And it costs different equipment. You have to farm like 3 of the equipment to awaken it, and then do the rush, and then get all the materials together. And then once you do that, you have like a decent chance that it'll be like usable. So this is just a waste of time, in my opinion. I mean, I've seen a lot of negativity surrounding this event, which is probably why they ended up revamping it. But I think the thing that needs to be revamped is the Equipment Awakening, and I know they also just recently revamped that, but it's still nowhere near where it needs to be in terms of it being worth my time, or anyone's time. Okay, so this sort of plays into what I was talking about earlier with equipment. When I was talking about Equipment Awakening, that's a different story. But equipment in the game itself, like the whole equipment system, is pretty bad. And like upgrading equipments and like how they're weighted, and it's just a whole different. That's a discussion for a whole different video. But I think this event in general is a very good idea, because I think they ended up realizing just how bad the equipment system is in the game, and this is a way to compensate for that in a sense. Because basically what it does is it gives you very easy missions to complete for each stage, and then completing those missions allows you to obviously then use skip tickets on those stages to farm equips very quickly. And if you guys have done this event at all, you know how many equips you can get just from using 10 energy. I mean, you get like close to 30 equips from just using 10 energy on this. Like it's very good. Now the downside to that is that the Equipment Awakening, I mean not the equipment, the equips that they include in these stages are like very weighted in certain slots. So just be careful of that, because a lot of the stages are not really that feasible to be grinding, just because the equipments that they give you like have like a fraction of a percentage to be an S. So if you're worried about getting S rank equipments, I would not really recommend farming a lot of these stages on this event. Or if you do, at least know which equipments are like heavily weighted and which ones aren't. But I do think overall that this equipment collection event is a very good idea, and I think that they can use this to sort of fix the broken equipment equipment sort of upgrading system in the game. Okay, and then more recently, I think this came out like 3 days ago, as of recording this video. The premium ticket summons, which I did not buy this, and I think that if we looked back maybe a month, 2 months ago, I would have bought this without even thinking twice, just because of this, like all the energy tickets and skip tickets you get. Right now, I think I have about at least 30 to 40 of every type of energy ticket, and I'm like literally maxed out on skip tickets. Like, there really isn't that much to do right now, but more so than that, I'm not a fan of this whole model that they're going with, where you have like, premium summon tickets where they don't even let you use crystals in the banner. Like, this is the second time that Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the Legendary Finish one, has come back, and they don't even let you use crystals on the banner. Like, the first time he came back was on the anniversary, but he had like an abysmal pull rate. Like, it was almost impossible to pull him. Like, I used 80,000 crystals. I didn't pull a single copy, which wasn't surprising to me considering how unlikely it is to pull him. He had a 0.25% he had a 2.5% pull rate on the ticket banner, and that was it. It was on the I think it was the Vegeta ticket banner. I can't remember if it was the Vegeta or whatever. One of the two banners. So almost impossible to pull there. And then this is the first real time he's back, and you're telling me that a normal player who's not going to pay, this is like, I think the last pack was like $40 in the US dollars. Like, a normal person's not going to pay this to have a chance of pulling Gohan. I think Gohan on this banner had like a, let's see if we can even just pull it up here. No, it's not on here. Maybe it's on tickets. It's going to be like all the way down. Yeah, here we go. Legends Premium. Here we go, and let's pull this one up as well. So Gohan has a 10% pull rate from these tickets, and I think in total you end up getting like, what is that? So you get 4, and then I think you can buy this pack like 3 times, so that's 8 tickets in total. So you have 8 chances with a 10% chance to pull him. That's not the best. And then this banner, he has what, like a 0.25% pull rate? 5.5%. So not very good. I mean, the price of the tickets that you get from this is just like is not worth it. Like I said earlier, $40 for this pack. Like I can understand for the I remember back on the anniversary, the New Year's ticket banner, that was worth it. That was like, I think in total you ended up spending like $120, and you get like nearly 30 guaranteed sparkings, which are all Legends Rising. Very good banner. This one, I think in total you end up spending like $150 to get all these tickets. That's like 8 guaranteed sparkings, and then you get 3 multis on the EX and End Up banner. 100% not worth it. I think they're overvaluing Gohan way too much. Now, granted, it is nice to get all these skip and energy tickets, so I mean, if that's what you're hunting for, then go ahead, by all means, but I would not recommend this, and I really don't like this practice that they're introducing where, I mean, this is, if you look, it says limited time, premium, summons, and then it says Volume 1, so there will be more of this, 100%. I expect there to be another banner with maybe the Goten, or maybe even Super Vegeta. We don't know. Like they could come out tomorrow and introduce. Well, they won't do it tomorrow because they just came out with this one. But they could come out in like a month and bring out Legends Premium Volume 2, and then instead of Gohan here, it'll be Super Vegeta. Like, only available with money. So that's just the direction they're going in with this game. And I think if we just go back and talk big picture and ask the question, like, why are they shying away from their old model where everything was frankly a lot better? I mean, if we take a look at everything that I just talked about and compare it to how the same sort of things were back when the game first released, I think they were most of the time a lot better. Like the UST banners, you had the GSP tickets, which basically guaranteed you a new sparking. They were much easier to obtain. PvP rewards were a lot better. Uh, let me just see what else we have here. Um, the X rates were not as bad because there weren't those like OPEX units who had that like a infinitesimally small pull rate. I think everything overall was just a lot better back in the early days of the game. I mean, even PvP in terms of like balance, I feel like it was a lot more balanced back then. Sure, you have a lot more options you can use now in terms of teams and units, etc. But like 90% of my matches are against fusion teams, and there isn't really a way to combat that unless they more closely balance everything. That's one of my biggest concerns that I have with the game moving forward is their balance, because I mostly play this game for PvP, and if they're not going to balance the game effectively, then it defeats the whole purpose of me playing the game, because that's all I do is play PvP. So I think just overall, revisiting the question of why they are shying away from the old model is because paying players will shell out money for all these changes. Like, for example, these tickets, like, plenty of people are going to buy this. I didn't buy it personally, but I know plenty of people that probably will end up getting this, and it's just inevitable. I mean, if you look at the anniversary, they hit top grossing for the first time ever in multiple countries for during the anniversary. Even with how absurd the Vegeta pull rates were, I mean, this hit top grossing. There isn't really much else to say. Like, it just feels like they're moving more towards a Dokkan-esque model in terms of business. And what I mean by that is they want to focus more on the top 1 to 5% of paying players, more so than the top 15 to 20% of paying players. So they want to focus more on the pay-to-play aspect more than the free-to-play aspect, and I think that's very apparent if you look at what everything has been transpiring like recently. So whether you've been playing the game for a long time or you just started playing the game, I think for veterans of the game, it's very noticeable, just because it's only been a year since the game came out, a little bit more than a year, and things have changed drastically since the game came out. I mean, if we look at like the Black Friday banner, what was like one of the best banners ever. You can go through the steps. It was a step-up banner. You go through the steps once, you get 2 guaranteed sparking tickets. You get 1 free multi-summon. And there were no tricks, no gimmicks. You just did that every single time. You can go through multiple times, as many times as you wanted. Every unit had a 1% pull rate that was featured, and that was it. Like, simple banner, but it was very, very good. And I think they wanted to move towards a model that would make it harder for people to summon units. So just comparing the anniversary banners like this one to the Black Friday banner, it's a night and day difference. So I think that's where this game is heading. I personally am not a fan of it. I do also want to stress that I do still enjoy playing the game a lot. I do enjoy playing PvP a lot. I play every day, and I do still enjoy playing, but I have to say that I do not enjoy playing as much as I did a month or 2 months ago even. So hopefully the developers begin to notice this trend that they've brought upon themselves, frankly. But I'm just hoping that the game continues to improve in the future, because I do think there are areas in which they are improving for sure, and I think I've outlined those pretty clearly in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit different. I know it's ended up being a pretty long one, but if you guys have any comments on what we talked about in this video, please let me know down below. I know people will have varying opinions, so if you disagree with me, that's fine. If you agree with me, that's also fine. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I think I want to do more of this type of video in the future, just to get more community involvement. And I'd like to see what you guys have to say, respond, etc. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.